talking about it. Let's introduce how to dance shaku shaku to something.
They also ask, what is your salary range for your title?
Depending on experience also. So I've had roughly quite some experience. Professionally in Finland, it's been roughly, if I remember, 6 years
of experience.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really long one.
And then it's so it's
a range
at the moment or at the beginning. As an entry level. As an entry level at that time, I think I was doing roughly. I started as an intern. So as an intern, you're doing roughly 2005 ish. Then entry level, depending on your skill set. Because I've had a few friends too, depending on their skill set, into the same field. So you're doing around 3,005 to 4,005.
Yeah.
Then when you get to that experience level, say after 5 years of experience, you're doing around 6,000 upward.
Oh, that's a really great amount of money.
Yeah. And you can do way more depending on your skills and experience.
Happy to hear.
You really can do a lot more.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys have heard it. However, I remember Finland is still quite expensive. So
the standards of living is killing. So in the sense of house rent, and generally things are getting more and more expensive.
Yes. And next question is, can someone get a junior developer job as a student?
Yes, depending on your skills and your effort.
So you develop your skills.
Yeah, so the idea is that for example, where I work, my trainee sort of it was in a boot camp, and we needed some junior. It doesn't have to be that you're extremely good. You just have to know what you're doing. You have the attitude, you have the interest, and you're putting in the effort, really. So, and if any manager sees that and can tell that, hey, this person is the right person for the job, and there's a cultural fit, and then you get into it. And there are so many junior devs that write thesis for the company, so to say. So
yeah, that's true.
So, and I always encourage that okay, if you have your thesis coming up, start looking out, and then you might strike the right working place, and then you're able to sort of write your thesis in collaboration with your organization.
Yeah, that's
so yeah,
true.
It's very possible as a student to get hired and demonstrate your skills.
Yeah, for someone coming from Nigeria, maybe someone that just got to Finland like 1 year ago, or coming straight up from Nigeria, what skills do they learn to set themselves up to be able to get a job as a student?
A job in tech, because that's where I am.
Tech,
yeah.
Yes.
So I would say get good at any programming language you can get good at. Good at it. Any at all.
Okay.
If you're picking a front-end JavaScript language, get very good at it, because if you think about it, you're going to be competing with mostly people who were born into tech. Finland is a place that, if you know tech, Finland pretty much is a place that Linux was born here. Nokia was born here.
Yeah.
So SSH was born here. Some level of SQL was born here. So you're competing with people who actually started tech and putting tech out to the world. The best of the best games are developed here. So if you want to compete with that, you have to get some level of skill.
And get good at it.
And get really good at it. Even if it's just that JavaScript you want to write, just write.
Yes.
If it's Python, just do Python deeply. So eventually it pays off, because as you get more exposed to the industry, you figure out your way.
Start to learn.
And then maybe you're the type that you're entrepreneur, you get the support also to be able to get integrated into the system and the innovation hubs, especially.
Yes.
Even though you might think that is barrier with language and stuff, to some extent that is barrier, because if you're kind of like working with a project that's more focused on the finished client, for example, then that's your buyer. But it doesn't necessarily mean that organizations are not exporting their services globally. So there are also so many companies that have that kind of setup where they're sort of multinational, and they have branches outside Finland as well. So you're relevant in that kind of field as well.
That's so true. Yes. Next, do students get to pay tax?
Yes, everybody gets to pay tax no matter who you
Yes.
are. Even if you're getting a gift from your parent,
You pay
you
tax.
pay tax.
Yes, as far as you're an adult.
Yeah.
Yes. So, generally, people working minimum wage jobs, what's the tax rate like? We've talked about that.
Yeah, pretty much similar. You kind of like get your range of pay, check on the tax website vero.fi, and then you can estimate how much tax. And one good thing is if you overestimate they pay you back,
Yeah, that's
which
true.
is a way to save.
Okay, that's
I
a
use
way
that
to
trick.
save. But when
And
the
sometimes when you underestimate, it's like
don't do that one.
Yeah,
But when you
you get to pay
overestimate, right, and they send it back to you, it feels like a gift. It doesn't feel like it's my money.
it's my money because
I'm always like, oh, I got free money.
But it's nice when you see that the
Yeah.
paper comes in and you're like, yeah, I'm
Ooh,
getting money
this
from
is
the
a
tax.
good amount of money.
Time. It's usually a good amount because you're saving over the year, and
Yeah.
it comes like pretty much the next tax is
yeah.
income ceiling. So if it feels nice to like something is there for you even though you were not expecting that.
Yeah, that's true. But do not ever underestimate, because
Yeah, that kills you.
you will pay it back.
You will pay it back no matter what.
Yes. So someone said, what stack is more lucrative, especially as a mid-level dev?
If you're a full stack, you're always at an advantage, really. Lucrative. If the last time I checked statistics, actually, AI engineers are cashing out. Then cloud engineers, architects, they're cashing out. Software architects. But you really can't get there if you don't start from
Somewhere.
learning the tidbit. I've worked on front end, I've worked on back end, but I find cloud very, very close to heart. And I think that comes from when I was back in Nigeria. I did a level of cyber cafe administration, so the cloud environment was just natural for me. Server administration, network administration, and stuff like that.
Okay. Sounds interesting, but yes, you always have to start.
It's been a journey. You always have to start from somewhere, find your niche, and along the line, if you have a target that you want to go for the highest paid, you can always check the statistics and then kind of like learn skills around that.
Yeah. So we still have like quite 5 questions, so I don't know how long this video will be. So
Okay.
do you want to have a little break and have some less deep questions, or do we continue on this pace?
Whichever way is fine.
Okay, I'll ask you 2 questions.
All right.
What is your favorite store?
Store. Alepa.
Is it close to your house?
Yeah, nowadays not close, but because I mean like it was pretty nice to just be able to go
random.
pick random. Yeah, pick something and get out of the store. I'm not a really shopping person.
Alepa is so random.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but okay, that's great.
Not favorite per se, but that's the quick one.
Okay.
Or our kiosk when I can grab a quick coffee.
Yes, that's true. Okay, one more. What is your favorite dessert?
Dessert.
Yes.
Tiramisu. Not favorite as well, but I kind of like tiramisu. If I'm gonna like
Tiramisu. Okay. All right. You've heard it, people.
I'm not that much of a favorite.
Yeah, I can relate, thankfully. So next question: remote versus on-site as a software engineer, which is more on trend over there on a natural ground? Without, I don't know what that means, but yes, which is more on trend?
I think that comes with personality. Some people really prefer remote. Some people prefer office. I used to be office, and at some point I start to prefer remote, flexibly. although I miss the office life as well. But I'm hoping to, like, I go to the office sometimes. Sometimes I'm home, so it really depends. And the office vibe gives you that human interaction. So let's say, for example, you are in a setting where there are other people in other departments who could sort of give you an insight into the organization's business.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
always good to have those coffee chats with someone in another department when you're at the office, compared to when you're home, you're just in your own bubble.
Yeah.
And so it depends on you, really.
And I think office sort of like put you in a mental, state of like, I'm here to work, in a sense.
Home put me in a state I'm here to work as well. So
I
think it depends where you are.
I'm like, let me rest for a few seconds. So that's I try to be out.
Yeah, it really depends. And
Okay.
when I'm home, for me, it's not much different. When I'm at the office nowadays, it's like, I haven't seen you in a while, and everybody's chatting. So
That's true.
yeah, so
Okay. I think when you get to that 5 years experience,
you kind of like find that balance, right?
yeah,
So,
but we
yeah.
we are still newbies in the whole thinking. So next, and do you get to pay tax again? And do you get to pay same scale of
Everybody's
tax?
worried about tax.
Exactly. Maybe
The more
because
you
of-
earn, the more you pay tax.
the more
That's all.
so painful. Anyways, and do you get to pay same scale of tax if you don't work with an entity in Finland, but living there as to working with those in Finland? Like if you're working,
There was this thing regarding the residence policy, right? And if you've seen those protests, it's pretty much equal tax for everybody, right? So
That's
equal
amazing.
policy, equal tax. So
Wait.
as long as you're living in Finland, you're paying the same tax
As-
as anybody else.
yeah, but that equal tax now a bit pivoting. Does it mean like if somebody is paying 6K, is getting 6K, and somebody else is getting 2K, they pay the
No,
same amount?
no, it cannot be.
Okay. Back to the point. Because that one I'm like, whoa.
That wouldn't be fair, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't be fair. All right. What are some of the key skills or quality? I think we spoke about that are highly valued in software development in Finland, and any specific programming language or technologies that are particularly in demand.
Yeah, I think open-mindedness to learning, and then team player. So not everybody gets along as a team, but then if you open your mind that, okay, this is something you're building together as a team, it helps you to kind of understand the core values of the organization and the mission, stuff like that. And also your attitude towards learning is very important, because technology is evolving, so you cannot just be there and say, I know how to do these things, they show me how to do, and then you're stagnant, and then after a year, even you yourself, you start feeling mediocre or imposter syndrome if you're not pushing yourself to face more challenges and solve more problems. And that really gets reflective in your work. And then once your manager can see that, oh, this person is driving, then you get more pay for it. And generally in Finland, you really get well compensated when you do a good job. When you deliver, you will get well compensated for it.
Okay, that's a good
Yeah.
speech for me as well. But yes, I think it's super important that we don't have this mediocre mindset.
Yeah.
Not generalizing now. I think from Nigeria, we're not, taught to sort of like push for things.
Are we not taught to push for things? I think we are very
When it comes
ambitious,
to
isn't it?
yes, we are ambitious, but like when it comes to like new, like now we have these tech things and all this stuff. It's like, for example, like when applying for university,
Yeah.
things like that. For example, my mom applied for me. Like my mom applied for me. Like I don't know, maybe it's just
It
personal.
varies.
Maybe it's personal. Some people really had to also. But like my mom literally did a lot of things, and my sister would do these things for me. So coming here, it's like I actually have to do these things for myself,
Yeah.
and I have to.
I
find
think that's
things out.
pretty much around the kind of support you get from family. For us, we always have that family support, right?
Yeah.
And community support, so to say. But being ambitious and like participating in stuff. You don't say because
Yeah.
this is theirs. No, it's ours actually, because at the end of the day, you're putting in your time and your work and your effort
Yeah.
into something that everybody has a common vision for. So why not participate then? So
Yeah,
that
participating.
that encourages to kind of grow from there.
Yes. Okay. Second to the last question is, can you discuss work-life balance in Finland? Because people talk about, the work-life balance here is quite good. Like, do you have something to say about that?
Yeah, actually, it's really nice to work in Finland generally. Uh, uh, it's flexible in the tech world,
Yeah.
generally, actually, in the corporate industry, because nobody kind of will force your work hour to start at a particular time if it's not necessary, so to say. So, when it comes to holidays, you're entitled to holidays. Your holidays are accounted for, they're paid for, you get compensation, you get benefits. You get this benefit where you can get a card where you go to eat, and you can use that to eat and use that for cultural stuff. Yeah, the head and red, they pass it in.
That's true. You have a lot of benefits.
Yeah, and then those you are allowed to use it in for sports, for wellness. You want to go to the massage, you can use those cards, and they allocate it for you yearly.
Yeah.
You get your paid by your phone bills are paid by your organization mostly. Your working equipment are paid by your organization mostly. And when it comes to outside of work, you finish work, your work colleagues also will organize some level of events depending on your organization, and even if they are not doing it, you are encouraged to sort of like join there is this employment support within the employers that you can. There's a word for it.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, occupational health, something.
No, I forgot.
Yeah, it just goes off my head. Like you can encourage, say
union or something.
It's even out of the union. Let's say we are in the same organization. We are this team that makes sure everybody is okay.
Oh, they have like are you talking about like the fun whatever? Because they have like
this team that make sure that they organize some fun things. You can participate in that too if you're interested.
Fun team in my company.
Yeah, so every company kind of always have that where you can do those stuff.
That's true. It's
and
encouraged.
It helps. Some can organize some sporting event as a team, or there is other event going on.
That's so true.
And depending on the company you are, and if a company is not doing it, you are actually encouraged to introduce it, and that adds to your social skills in a way. So
that's so true. Yeah, that's true. I think we need to be reminded our
privilege. Most people kind of neglect it.
Yeah,
like I've been thinking about it. Let's introduce how to dance shaku shaku to something.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, work-life balance is very, very encouraged.
Yeah, I remember I had the team at some time. Even it helps you to get to know your team better when you go outside with your work colleagues to have some fun. And even outside work, and you're meeting maybe your fellow friends, you organize events for yourself, and
that's true.
It's very flexible in Finland.
So lastly, do you have any tip for the people now, not just in tech people, like somebody wants to start their career in Finland, because some people have just come newly to this very nice country? What tip do you have for them? I think you already gave one, which is like be sort of like active in school, participate in different things. That's one tip. So do you have something else?
Believe in yourself, be very confident. That's it. Yeah, it's so easy to kind of like how to say fall around. Your mindset actually really shapes how you think, especially in Finland, because you're in a new world where the first thing that hits you is cultural shock. And then if you win over that, you kind of can open your mind and expose yourself to the culture with a very open-mindedness, and most things that's going on in Finland across prejudication or whatsoever, ism, schism, it's everywhere else. It's even back in our own home country. So I wouldn't say that it doesn't exist. It exists everywhere, literally. So you want to be positive. You want to have a very positive mindset. Things are going to work out. Everybody paid their dues, one way or the other. So it's not all that easy for everybody. One way or the other, everybody has to go through some obstacles, and as long as you keep an open mind and have a positive mindset towards the future, it really do work out. No matter how difficult it is for each and every. And sometimes it's extreme for some people, sometimes it's quite easy for some people.
Yeah.
We all have a fair share somehow.
Yeah, but that's so true. Even speaking to me again, I think I needed this very much. Just understanding that it happens everywhere, whatever
Oh,
you're
trust me.
going through, and also like everybody has sort of like has to pay their dues. You have to start from somewhere. You have to be a trainee first before you now be where you are right now.
Yeah, so. Or maybe you are even lucky enough along the journey, or maybe you keep trying, the opportunity will just come up. But when the opportunity comes, you want to be ready, right?
Ready.
So if you're not ready when the opportunity comes, it hurts.
That's so true. Okay, well, thank you so much. I said we're gonna have like this sort of like rapid fire questions, but I think we asked them all. And that's it for today. Do you have any last word, or we close here?
Finland is a nice place.
Okay. Now,
it's a good place to live. It's easy, clean. If you want to come to Finland,
it's clean.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that one.
You go anywhere else and go back to Finland and you breathe fresh air.
I think it's when you go out, then you be like, "Whoa, I want to get back to Finland." Like,
and the quietness.
I'm not mentioning countries now.
If you're a quiet person, you will realize how different things are.
Yeah, that's so true.
The quietness around the surroundings. So if you want to move to Finland, I would suggest it's a good place. And some people move in to study and they move on with life, and maybe Finland brings you here and Finland takes you elsewhere. Career really takes you everywhere. I've seen people where they came to Finland, they start to work, and then the company takes them elsewhere again. And so it's really just life at the end of the day.
It's life. It's life. So I'm learning.
It's life at the end of the day. Have a very positive mindset and be careful who you surround yourselves with. So you want to resonate with people who are thinking the way you're thinking in terms of mindset.
If we want to elongate this a bit, because you spoke about surrounding yourself, I have a question personally about that. You know, when we come here, there's not like, in a sense, like friends or whatever, but I've seen you're like a baller here and there on Instagram. I've not really seen you.
I'm not really a baller.
Well, but you have like these pictures and everything, and sort of like
enjoy
friends.
Active life.
Yes. So how do you sort of like build that network in a sense, not even just professional, but something that flows out to your personal life? Is there something, or it's just you?
I think it's just me, right? I really like an active lifestyle, because back in the days, actually, if you think about it, you get to Finland, especially in the winter days, it's quite dark, right? And it gets dark really easily, and it's quite depressing. And we are not trained to go do winter sport. Luckily, I was introduced to winter sport through some Finnish friends and work colleagues, really. And then it's like, there is joy in this. So I picked up learning ski, for example, and I think also the openness to learning. I like to learn things around me, and life is a endless learning journey generally. So as long as I have that, I want to get to know about what's happening around me, learning new things, getting to meet people. Necessarily, that's just about it.
Okay. Yes, all right. That's really, really nice to hear. And thank you so much for taking your time and being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And so you guys have heard from Larry. You can check him out on Instagram. I think I might just put your Instagram down there, so because people would ask you questions.
Okay, so I'm not too responsive because I'm just there scrolling and uploading pictures.
So, but
I'm not that
once
guy.
in a while,
Once in a while, I'll
once
do
in
my
a while,
best.
you will respond, and you can just, of course, just spar on his
I'm
chat.
happy to help when it comes to tech industry and stuff. Always happy to help. Always happy to learn more from people as well. So please feel free to reach out. See how it goes.
All right, and make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and make sure you put on your post notifications so you're notified.
And make sure you share.
Yes, that's the one. And thank you guys. See you in my next video. Bye.
Bye.